Matalway siya dong manawang karubak el Dr. Jenkins siyempre ko toktang Jenkins sakti lingiter ka sakti mo gerra ka tukor belaw le kurka kamde tukor belaw mo ko insult English palawan whatever then matukar mas loreng suwain ker mas
Okay.
ya kumdas pete kita ngal el Dr. Jenkins o modengel waseng narulia imurat ko il dika katal mrur belaw apol mereka makamada men butel ang rato ko school na narulia ikel bes chance mo law ay sa press conference sa mabuhay makuling tringil waseng el ale kat modengel wase tial bes school year rakara school o mo within 2 weeks July 14 maklo etiak maklo toy menggira mata atetela school mo sis act lekat madengel wase aigal dolgo legal mereka ada tu mungkin mas atau gora au lagrol mas school mangangester ngiling a school atau dengel wase tia yagi sa a school kat makliat e mongil ada le apolo mo kwadre ngi madakal bol gang of course au lagrol a blata mangakmo lingiter ka Dr. Jenkins lo se kam ako ti statra tial a school waseng mustatra o ingrang wangrate teleleng raigel esel program el kuplamo muul dirka kamrule eseleng kam ngeng esel to ngmeringra ada amo soiso esel to kedelungis modi at telel kabom aulaul ekong.
Okay. I'm sulang Ngirmang. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. This is a very important time for school.
Yes, thank you.
I've been in education all my life. Never have I felt this way about starting a school year. I'm so anxious and I'm so optimistic that school. It's going to be unbelievably good. I feel badly because you have a lot of problems in Palau. Ministry of Education, direct nga niya maklo munday. But we confer them as challenges. So when I came, which was 10 months ago as the minister, the first thing I wanted to do was to see how does we operate. It wasn't operating functionally. The structure was wrong. They've been covering things and making up for people for the past. So we had to change all of that. Sa ngirong in central office, we have 21 highly qualified teachers called instructional specialists who work in the office. And they make a test, and the test is given. Blah, blah, blah. Man with what I said, the SL Directora Curriculum, Director Kilcullen, Ida, Ida the assassin.
She's very experienced.
Our very first meeting, we decided, going to the schools. They're going to be in the schools. They're going to help the unqualified teachers we have to do better.
Wow.
First day. Fantastic, works beautifully. When those teachers came back and they said, I forgot why I was in education. I fall in love with the kids. Hard not to love them. They're beautiful. Yeah. So that was number one.
Teachers.
Then we looked at our calendar and we found we were giving up 25 days a school year testing. Testing for reading levels, testing for this, testing for that. Which is okay, but what did we do with the test? Nothing. We didn't use them to help improve. So we took them out. And you knew what happened when we took them out. It wasn't pretty. But it gave us 25 days of instruction that we had lost without changing anything.
All these years?
All these years.
Wow.
They had been doing these testing, I don't even know when they began, other than someone said they were in the 90s. Well, I don't know. That's the way the schools were running. 74 was the earliest I can go back. Yep, but that's the way they were working. So we knew immediately that we needed to make big changes. The first thing is looking at our calendar. Traditional school calendar is not a good calendar, which is why we changed to year-round. In doing so, I heard people say this: we cannot do that because this is Palau.
What?
Got it? So I said, we turned it around and we said, we can do that because this is Palau. We don't have to answer to anybody, any other school system in the state or anything. We are unified. So what we did was then look at other things. So I visit schools, and I would not tell people I was coming. I wasn't trying to catch people. I just simply wanted to come in and see what's going on, which is something I assume no minister had ever done before, because people would immediately run around and get me to the office. I sat in one class. It was I believe, a second grade class. And it broke my heart, because beautiful kids, teacher doing a wonderful job. The only problem was she was teaching a second grade class things they should have learned in kindergarten. 2 years behind.
Wow.
Through nobody's fault but the system. So what did we do? We said, we're starting kindergarten. It took us 6 months to get that idea across to people. It's still not that far across. We have an incredible kindergarten program set up. And I want to urge everybody who has a child 5 years old, enroll them in your school for the kindergarten program. We started it immediately because we cannot see another year of children falling behind.
But why only 5 years? Why not 4 years old or 3 years old to 5?
Well, even I thought we better have limits on that. And when it comes down to you talking in 4 and 3, that's preschool. Technically, I would love to go 4. I would love to, because I've seen that.
Okay.
That works really well. But
For now, it's 5 years old.
5 years old. 5 years old. And they will learn a very strong language arts program. They'll learn thematic units, and it's fun. Everybody thinks, oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be terrible teaching. It's fun. It's done with music. It's done with poetry. I've seen it. This is not something I think is going to happen. I've seen it work for 20 years. The same
Language
program.
arts
We're
program.
bringing this program that we've used in other schools to Palau, and it's going to work.
Some kind of older folks or those who don't know use it. Why is he talking about? What's your background in education? Can you just give me like a 2-minute? What did you do? How can you talk as an expert here?
Okay.
You know, what's your background and knowledge? Yeah?
Okay, I was one of the really fortunate young people who went through public school in California when they were the best schools in the world.
Yeah.
I had fantastic teachers who were my role model. We all were wanted to be teachers. That's what we kind of went through. So when I went to college, I was fortunate. I was given a full scholarship to go to any college I wanted to in the world. And I chose a small private school, Whittier College, which has a very strong educational program. And in that program, I was involved with working as a class with under a Dr. Mackenzie, who's a worldwide renowned authority in reading. And so I became very enthusiastic about that, because I worked with inner city Hispanic young men who could not read.
Wow.
And it was amazing what you could do with them when they had the opportunity.
Wow.
Some of the materials you had to use were a little different, magazines and things like that, but everybody can learn to read. It's not impossible.
That's wonderful.
But you can't learn to read by yourself. It's not something that just comes and grows, like learning to throw a baseball, learning to base a bat. You have to be taught the skill. So when I graduated from college, I joined the Peace Corps and came to Palau, and I was here as a teacher because I had my certificate from California. I was able to get that before I came here. And I taught in Ngirmang, and I taught 7th grade in 1 year, and then 8th grade. Basically, what I was doing was I taught a class so that teacher could come to go to college and get their degree. So I was a substitute teacher. So for 2 years, 2 Palauan teachers got their degrees because we were here. And that's what the Peace Corps was doing at that time.
Yes.
That's when I met you.
Yes.
But beyond that, I learned one thing that I still believe. Palauan children are incredibly bright. They are incredibly bright. Some DNA here is they are so smart. we need to get back to asking them to do their best.
Yes.
We, let me get backtrack. I need to get. So after that, I went back and I started teaching 1 year in California in special education, and I found out I don't really like special education. So I came back to Palau and taught at Palau Magnet School.
Okay.
Started their library and taught English there.
Wow.
Then went to Guam, and in Guam was teaching at St. John's School when it
Yeah.
was only up to 9th grade. And picked up a master's degree in reading because I'm a reading fanatic. So my first master's was in reading, and then my headmaster at that time advised me maybe I should think about getting into administration because he said you can have more of an impact in administration than as a teacher.
Yes.
So I got a master's degree in educational administration supervision.
Okay.
Following
was
that, I got a
qualified.
doctorate from the University of Oregon in educational policy, development, and management. And then went back, taught at St. John's for a while, became the business manager there. As a private school, they manage all their funds.
That's when that school went up. I understand in Guam, it's a
Yeah, that's
very
when
high
we-
level high school.
Incredibly good school, incredibly. It was ranked in the top 10% schools in the United States.
Yeah.
Wow.
Harbaby rangal karbela graduate sa Arwa minister ngiray
ngiray.
to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a great school.
Okay, okay, good.
Anyway, that's what, okay?
Okay, enough. So let's go.
Marado bela na mo tengel tiralo bangkata Udesuall kaya most
I see.
qualified the Minister of Education
I see,
kita el
yeah.
altai. Man masawla Minister
Kita
Jenkins.
belum mesek mo. Tirgabe esel mail dia lo ngek mengarada man.
Why say?
Sa dem sa telel gukura.
see.
Kamla rong siya background ringi mang boklo rong uti.
So you want me to tell you what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. This year, we have already started our new calendar. Nobody noticed that. This is where we completed our summer intercession as an experiment. We had actually three programs which we wanted to do. One of the values of the intercession is to help children who fall behind. Rather than waiting till the end of the year or doing it after school, we identified them, they came in and they met in small groups with their teacher to get instruction. So that's number one. That's the main reason. The second one, and the one that I think is almost as important, and maybe more so given what we're talking about today, is that we develop programs there that can be done when they cannot be done during the regular school day. There are two examples of this. One was done by a high school. I had the principal of the high school called me up one day, said, "Hey, we've got an idea. Can we talk to you about it?" Came up and was the principal and the two music teachers and what do you call them, advisors to their club, the
Yeah.
theater organization, which did
Yeah.
Moana. They're fantastic.
Yes, they are good.
Their idea was during the intercession, they want to bring in as many incoming 9th grade, 10th grade students into a musical program to where they would learn music, they would learn singing, they would learn dance. All
And
of these things
instruments
go
as
together.
well.
And instruments, which
Yeah.
I said, yeah, in 1 month.
I've
yeah,
seen
right.
them.
Anyway, I said, fantastic, go with it. And so they went with it, and then they had a performance last week that was unbelievably good. And they had taken what I had, my expectation was here, and they were way up there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was good.
You were there?
It was very good.
I thought it was
But we were not able to
Ah,
video.
yeah, that's right, because they were videoing it for their club.
Yeah,
We were trying to break the
They had to
rules.
make a buck.
to live stream.
But,
Yeah, but they didn't allow us to do
the
it.
beauty of it was that these two teachers and the principal and all of their advisors, they didn't just teach the class. They brought in former students or students who had graduated and came back, and they worked as mentors, and they were in the show. It was unbelievable. It was inspiring.
And it took place at the Civic Center.
Civic Center, because
the nice
Minister
stage
Matul
over
gave
there.
it to us. It's a beautiful facility.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that was number one. And number one, what I got during that was, my God, these guys are better than I even thought they were. We have to raise our expectations.
Yes.
Because whatever we ask them to do, they're going to do more. That was the secret of St. John's. We ask them to this, they'll do more. You eat that, then you continue going
Very
higher and
good.
higher. So last night there was one, and it was an elementary program. It was the Welcome to the Jungle.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
this
let's
was done
promote that.
thanks to a grant from Ministry of Human and Health and Human Services, NCD grant.
Yeah.
We were able to fund this and use a young person out here who's incredibly well-qualified teacher of music and dance, Benina.
We've interviewed her.
I listened to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great. I mean, this was a group of, was it, I don't know, 30 or so children who had done the same thing. During the intercession, they'd come in the morning and then come in the afternoon and practiced.
They're very cute. They're grade school age.
They're unbelievable.
Super cute.
But
So
also, they were exposed to expressing themselves. Everything they did came from within them. So it was them giving their impression of what sounds would be in a jungle, what the animals would be like in a jungle. All of that was self-expression.
Minister,
there you go, Greg.
there's a mother
Welcome to
here.
the jungle.
There's a mother here who was surprised by her daughter performance.
Oh,
They were great. They were
Yeah.
great.
Wow.
I mean, these are the sort of things that our new calendar allows us to do. We couldn't do these in a regular school because you've got 45-minute periods, you've got this, that.
Yes.
We can do this, and that's what we want to do every intercession. We have a fall intercession coming up at the end of September, and we already have 2 programs ready to go. We're going to have a continuation of Welcome to the Jungle because our grant is
Alright.
we're able to do that, and that's going to be in Babaldam. That'll be for the Babaldam schools.
Okay.
This was for Koror.
But I don't like that promotion using monkey because only in Angkar we have monkeys. So you're gonna, make people of Angkar.
Actually, I was a little disappointed because the monkeys were very calm. The elephants stole the show. I thought, the elephants going through with their tusks. That was great. But
Why use monkey? Monkey is not.
the
this is wonderful.
but on the fall intercession, we already have the Friends of the Area Network have gone out and fundraised, and they'll be able to support, I believe, 20 of our high school students scuba diving training and getting certified as scuba divers. So
Yes.
they will not only experience the beauty of Palau, but also learn about the conservation
Yes,
and the
yes.
importance of it. The other will be, of course, continuation of, we'll take the monkeys out of the jungle. But the other areas we're really looking for is traditional skills. We're already in talks with, again, with Minister Matul about having our schools adopt a cultural heritage site near them to maintain it and learn about it from the Rubaks and Maasas of the Baloo.
Very nice. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so those are things
Good
which we're
idea.
doing.
Good idea.
Finally, sports, obviously.
Yes.
Yes,
The
I was
National
going to ask you.
Olympic
That's his
Committee
favorite.
is already interested in helping us in the intercessions. They were great they moved the Belao Games so as to not interfere with our school.
Oh, nice.
I thought that was wonderful. So that's why it's a little bit earlier than normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're getting wonderful cooperation and partnership. And I also want to thank Irene for the Chamber of Commerce. We would like to partner with you to help. You guys know business and you know how to run business. We're teachers. We can't do business.
Yes,
We can talk about it theoretically, but if you can help us during these intercession programs, maybe, so we can offer things to help children learn simple basics of budgeting, living within themselves.
And most importantly, the work ethic.
The work ethic,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you. We're
Wow.
happy to help.
Thanks.
Yeah.
The main thing that we are looking here is I have a very firm belief that every child has God-given talents.
Amen.
They just don't know what they are yet sometimes, and
Very
they
true.
need help and the ability to bring them to the surface.
To channel them and
Yes,
to
sir.
bring the,
We have
Marami.
the academics at the school, they're fine. We have the athletes at the school, they have an outlet. But everybody else is kind of left. And that's our failure. That's what these intercessions are designed to help us deliver.
Yes.
We'll be giving more and more strength to the arts and any other forms we can find to help the children discover they have ability and for them to display it. I want an example of what I saw in the show. The beginning of the show, there was one young boy. At the beginning, they had the whole crew on stage. And this kid was terrified. You could tell from his face. And he couldn't remember the word, but it was in a chorus. It was okay. By the end of the show, he was on drums in a rock and roll band, and he was a rock star. He was a rock star
Wow.
in one evening.
A hidden talent.
It's just that sort of thing to where they just need a chance.
Yeah.
So that's what we're
Yes.
trying to do with these intersessions. So that's part of what we're doing. And it's all voluntary. They don't have to come. It's up to them if they want to come. And if they want to get a job, we're looking for help to maybe find employment for them for those short periods.
Yes.
So intersessions are absolute key in the success of the program. The other things which we're doing, maybe I should tell about our new programs, because I don't want to go, I
Yes.
don't want to run out of time. We're beginning a lot of new programs this year, coming year. And I know the principals and the teachers are kind of going, Jenkins is completely insane. It's kind of crazy. We noted that in our achievement test scores, our reading test scores are low. They're low, 25th percentile. That's low.
Oh.
Wow.
That's across the board, all the way across the board. So is social studies, math, science, all are low. Well, all of those have one common denominator. You have to be able to read.
Yes.
In order
Yes.
to do
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So I look at our curriculum and say, well, we don't teach reading. You don't see kids reading. So
What all these years?
I don't know. I'm only saying this is what I've observed.
I'm super happy that you're a reading fanatic,
Yeah.
Minister.
So what we're doing, we are starting an academic core subject of individualized reading in grades kinder through
Very
grade 8.
good.
Now,
Yes.
what this is, it's one we've used before. I've used it before. It's it's called the Accelerated Reader Program. It's completely individualized, computer-based. One of the things which we're doing is we're going completely computer-basing now. What it is that the students can choose any book within, they come in and they'll be given a reading test right off the bat. That'll give them their level of reading. They can choose any book in our school libraries, which are going to be all identified as to what reading level, first grade, second grade, third grade. They can choose a book, they read it. At the end of that time, the computer will say, do you want to take a test? They take a test. It's a little 10-minute test, not a big deal. But it'll give us an idea as to what their strengths and weaknesses are in that book. And then they get points. If you get 100%, let's say you get 5 points or whatever. Points add up, and you get prizes based on that. Wow. So every student can read whatever book they want, and this is 5 days a week. They can also read at home. They don't have to read only in school. And we also now, because of the program, we have access to an online library of over 7,000 texts already identified for different grade levels.
That's great.
We also, according to that same library, has all the classics.
Nice.
Mark Twain, Odyssey,
Little House on the Prairie.
all of those.
Yes.
It's a really nice selection.
Wonderful.
And not only are they available to the students and the teachers, but the company has opened them up to everybody in Palau. Anybody can access
That's
this library.
great news. Kung larong masisay.
So that's going to be coming. We're getting this started right now. We just got the go-ahead, so we're actually having our first training sessions on it beginning next week. That's a big one. Another one which is consistent with that is called the Be Able system. Another one which I've used under another name. And what it is, it's an individualized reading system for grade level subject matter. So for example, how it works, oversimplified, how it works is a teacher, let's say if I'm teaching science and I'm teaching it in the 10th grade and I want to teach photosynthesis, how plants make food. I go to their library, I can select an article on that topic, I tell it, give it to my class. It will then translate that article into the grade level for each individual student. So if we're in class and Irene's reading at a 12th grade level, you're reading at a 10th grade level, I'm reading at a 3rd grade level, I get my material at 3rd grade level, you get it at 10th, you get it at 12th.
And
How
the
did the-
content is
Content
learned.
is the same.
The same.
How did that
yes.
happen?
It's computer.
That's amazing.
It's computers.
Wow.
And this has been
Wonderful.
available for 8 years. I started it in Saipan before we left.
Ah,
And-
thank you,
but
Dr.
it's now.
Jenkins.
We've got it. We've already had the training on it. So we're ready to
Wow.
implement this immediately. And it
Wonderful
is
news.
computer magic. I'm sorry how it works. And the other thing is, it helps put them at the reading level. For example, if I'm reading at a 3rd grade, 1 month, it puts the reading level at my high level. So I've got to reach. And the beauty of this is what it enables us to do is no matter how you're reading, you can engage a discussion in a small group with some confidence.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing and it's wonderful
is
because
it only
everyone
in English
is...
or it's this Palawan?
No, only in English. Sorry.
Well-
none of these have Palawan translation.
Minister Jenkins, it is really wonderful because everyone, where they're born in their family, have a different level of maturity.
Of course.
So this is wonderful news for the whole
Wow.
country. Thank you so much.
And this is all the way through. This goes from 12th grade to kindergarten. You can use anywhere.
Jenkins
Yeah.
Minister. Kumalagol Girela training. Our teachers are going to train the civil
Oh.
Mochisak Laigal base.
Let me give you an example. You have to be trained.
Yeah.
It's going to take us a while to get it going. The Be Able system, the people there were so enthusiastic about starting Palau because when we talk with them, we're a little bit ablat. We tell them it's not that you're doing just a district or a school. You're doing an entire nation. So
Yes.
as a salesman, they think that's great. They go back to their boss and they say, "I've got a whole country."
Yeah.
Actually, that is
Yeah,
the truth. That's wonderful.
Wow.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
My goodness.
Here's an example of what happened. The accelerated reader, they have what they call webinars to introduce things and go through things. They had one, I think it was 3 weeks ago, and they sent us a courtesy notification. We're not officially a member, but they sent us the courtesy thing. And our chief got a hold of it, one of our chiefs, I haven't identified the guilty party yet, and got it to all the teachers.
Wow.
Well, the person from the accelerated reader came back to me and they said what's the most amazing thing was they had worldwide 600 people attended the webinar. 80 from Palau.
Wow.
And they didn't even know where Palau was. And so she was able to explain that that's the level of enthusiasm our teachers have for these new ideas.
Out of 680 were from Palau.
Yeah.
Kudos to the teachers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, but you're right. The training is going to take a while. We had to go through the procurement process, which was an eye-opening experience for me. We got it through now, so we're starting, and we'll begin the full training on this on Tuesday. So we're pushing the limit, but we anticipate having it fully, the AR system fully in place before the end of July. So within 2 weeks of starting school, we look to be able to start giving everything to them. The reading will start immediately. The other thing we're doing is we're getting new social studies books, and this is a hybrid, because what we're doing is we're getting some hardcover books for lower grades and some hardcover books, but the bulk of it are ebooks. The reason for the ebook is a couple things. One, delivery is much faster, but most importantly, ebooks have certain contents areas which are just much better than a regular book, because if you're reading, you don't understand a word, you highlight it, dictionary comes up and explains it.
That's
to you.
awesome. Efficiency. Yeah.
Also gives you links to where you can go to learn more about
I
it.
wish I can be a student again.
a
My
student
goodness.
again, too.
Come on by.
That's
It's really
awesome.
cool. Finally, I found out a very hard way that our student records system is on its last legs. I mean, it's a homemade project, and it's the person who did it is retired and comes back and helps. You know, it's limping, right?
Yeah.
So we are getting a new school information system. It's
Like a
already in-
database? It's like a database.
Huge
for-
database.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, it has all different complements. What it's known as is Administration Plus, Admin Plus, and I work with this in Saipan. It's a great system because what it enables us to do, everything's computerized from the entering of the grades, enters into an electronic grade book. Gradebook does all the calculations for you at the end of the quarter. Instead of sitting down with your calculator and doing all that, which that's Stone Age.
Yes.
It automatically calculates all the grades for you.
Wow.
So all the teachers have to do is at the end of the quarter, we have a records day, the day after. The first day of any session is a records day. That allows the teachers to finish up any grading they have to do if they gave exams that week, blah, blah, blah. They then press send, and the report cards go out.
No, in this database, Minister, you can also have, like, if a first grader enters school, they can have their birth certificate
Oh, yeah.
in the file. So the name starts correct from when they
Everything.
start school all the way to college.
Registration, and that's where we
Awesome.
are right now. We have our blank database has been set up by the company. It's ready to go.
Nice.
They're going to contact us to teach us how to enter the data. And so we have all the data from the students. That enables us to do immediately class list, grades. So it's so much easier, and transcripts, and of course, everything's recorded.
Yes.
The other key on that is communication with parents. The system, when you print report cards, if you have an email address for parents, it goes directly to the email. And if you don't have an email, then it prints it. So if you have an email, when the person says press send, it goes, you pick it up at home on your computer.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you can come to school and get it.
So it's wonderful record keeping, plus we save paper, and
paper,
nobody's littering, and trash is
and
reduced.
And even better, once we get ourselves fully accomplished on this, it has what's called a parent portal. So as a parent, you'll be able to access your children's records anytime you want.
But this requires a training also, huh? The
Oh, yes.
parents, you know.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
So this is
Moses
down
and
the line.
Lily can go in and see how Ngawakli is doing.
Well, yeah, the beauty of it is that also the teachers can send progress reports anytime you want. You can call up and say, hey, how's my kid doing in math?
Nice.
Boom, they send it out. And you can't, no
Very
more
nice.
of this, the student says, hey, Mom, I did all my homework.
Right.
It says right there, it's a picture of their grade book.
Yeah.
But blank, blank. They got these blank homeworks.
Dapat sabihin mga plat.
Kailangan niya access sa parents mo sa school library.
Yeah, the electronic library?
The electronic.
Yes. Everybody on the island has free access to that.
Free access.
Once we get a password, we'll give you the password. And, you know, it's mostly children's literature, obviously. But all of the classics are on there. So if you're interested in Shakespeare or any of those,
Yeah.
they're involved. They're in there. So it's a good system.
Kamal masawla minister letiap mal mo improve raw reading comprehension rar other belaw rokuy hindi ra mal mo ngila Moses Uludong may lani reklay let mo maduol mo ngoy one news hindi ka longoy
Yeah.
el guklo interpret mo.
So,
But remember this though. It's like the analogy I see. It's like school is like a slow onset disaster, like the drought. You know, it's coming along, it's giving you warning signs, but nobody really pays attention to it until you turn the tap and nothing comes out.
Yes.
And so these corrective measures, some of them you'll see immediately,
Yes.
but others are going to take years to accomplish. For example, the reading levels.
Yeah.
That's why it was so important for us to get kindergarten started, because that group is a new test case. They're going to show what we're capable of.
Yes.
A couple of the things I want to get in before I get cut off. We increased the length of the elementary school day. It used to end at 2:30, depending on where you were and how much cleaning it was. It's now going to 3:15 because we added a reading class.
Nice.
And
Very
we
good.
also are trying to increase the physical education classes. Currently, they meet once a week. We're trying to get up to at least 2 a week for that. We're also beginning, as we did at the end of the school year, an after-school sports program for the elementary schools. That's a good one.
Wonderful.
The other would be, we started remote learning last year with Peleliu. Angar wasn't involved, and Kayang.
Kayang.
And it worked really well. I went and checked the student records, and there were hang-ups, hardware problems, and issues. But on the whole, we saw it was a good system. We're going to continue that, and that may increase. We don't know yet. We're getting
Very
for the
good.
registration now. We're going back and making sure that, because we're so dependent with computers now, that we're trying to make sure that every student has a working computer. And working is the key element there.
Yes, yes.
You might have a computer, but it's been sitting in the sun or what something. We're trying to get them all functioning. The other thing that I know you'll be interested in is our faculty growth and development. One of our key elements, which has been on the line for years and years and years, to make sure our teachers all get diplomas, degrees. We have a cohort. We've been working as a partnership with PCC and the University of Guam, and our first cohort of teachers has completed their first year, and they'll be receiving their Bachelor of Education by the next fall. So they'll be finished.
Wow.
And that'll be at least 20 people. We're hopefully going to be able to start a new cadre this fall. So we're going to be cycling people through.
Yeah.
And that's all, a lot of that's being done on, Zoom. And so we're not talking about traveling. We've made almost all of our meetings, principal meetings, on Zoom because it's easier. I can never
Wow.
talk to anybody in our system.
Yeah.
And now with Zoom, like kind of regular meetings, and it's kind of nice.
Wonderful.
They don't like it very much because they're,
It's new. It's new.
it's new.
They'll get used to it.
Okay, there's a big one that I want to announce, is that you've heard of WICHE. I think we talked about this at the meeting.
How do you spell that?
WICHE. It stands for the Western Interstate, Commission on Higher Education.
Oh, okay.
What it is, it's an organization which is made up of educators, universities, and government officials, mostly on the West Coast, as the name implies. West Coast as far east as, I think, Montana. And what it is, it offers membership to countries to qualify for reduced tuition at colleges and universities.
Wonderful.
Just gained membership. It's on their webpage now. Thanks
Nice.
for the House of Representatives and the Senate for passing a resolution, and that's all they needed was a resolution. And of course, the price was, how much is it going to cost? This will be saving millions of dollars in tuition dollars for students, and it doesn't cost us 1 cent. It's totally free. The Department of Interior is funding our Palau's share, which would be in the $20,000-$30,000 bracket. So we don't have to pay that because they recognize that Palau's underrepresented in colleges and universities.
Wow.
So what you can do with this, and I'll just give a few examples that I just drew out. You can go to wiche.edu, and it has everything on. There are actually three elements of it. First is the undergraduate, second is a master's degree, and third is professional exchanges. Master's degree basically enables you to pay resident tuition for a master's degree, which is unbelievable. That's a great deal.
Yes.
But what we had was, I just took these, and we had, let's say, for Southern Oregon University, the tuition allowance would pay this year's $26,865. Next year, if they go to the same school, it's $13,568.
Wow.
That's a saving of $13,000.
So about 50%.
That is yes,
same thing.
that's a huge
These are
difference.
these are all, what it is that the WICHE schools, or students, they check the schools, they find the school that they're interested in. And again, it's not every school, Stanford, the University of California's universities are not in it yet. A lot of the big name schools are not, but a lot of really good schools are.
Yeah.
And they will, I compute, it's an average savings on an annual basis of about $14,000, just based on
I wish
per
this
year,
happened when
per
we
year.
were in college.
Yeah.
The California
my.
State University systems are all on it.
Wow.
So any California State University, Chico, a lot of those.
Berkeley.
Humboldt. No, Berkeley's a university. They're different. They're not
so
on it.
different.
But again, this is what we called in the meeting. This was deflation.
Yeah. That's wonderful
And
news,
it's what
Minister.
what we hope it will be able to do is to enable the scholarship board to be much more meaningful.
Yes.
For example, if you're looking at a tuition of, let's say here, $35,000, and this tuition scholarship can give you $10,000, doesn't help much.
Is the scholarship board aware of this?
Not yet. This has happened yesterday.
They should be a partner in this.
Official.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna meet. I've spoken to the chairman about it. They're aware of it, but I didn't want
Yeah.
to. I don't want to go around spreading things that unless I know it's going to happen. And this
Yeah.
happened
So this happened yesterday.
yesterday.
So we want to thank
Wow.
you and thank the
And there's the
National
examples in
Congress
case
of
you just want
Palau
it. But it's all
for making
online.
this
It's all
possible.
online.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful.
Actually, the Senate and the House really did a great job on this, and did it just in time. In fact, we got the resolution the same day as the Department of Interior announced there was no charge.
Okay, gaman masaw, lar senator, sumar delegates,
Yes.
sige, tarabulur belaw, tiyak malungil tokoy.
So
Higher education is important.
I'm gonna, depart from this because you're gonna make us excited, and I think too many things at one
Let's
time.
get some bad news.
Yeah. So, no, can you just give us like a schedule for the next 1 year, school year, like July 13, and then all the way the school cycle.
Oh, sure.
Semester all the way to next year.
My days will be off a little bit.
Yeah, and then also the if you can, the structure, the system. Have you organized the management system? It's all in place now to do this, or
Well, yes and no. That one I'll have to.
Okay.
Let me give you the calendar first. Then The calendar is a quarterly system. We still have exactly the same number of days, 180 days. It's exactly the same. We begin on July 13th, which is a Wednesday. People say, why do you start on a Wednesday? First weeks are tiring.
Why not?
So we said, let's just go 3 days, get all the bookkeeping out of the way, and then hit the ground running on Monday.
Yeah.
We go until around, I believe, September 20th, which is our first quarter, 45-day quarter. And then we take a 3-week intercession, where the intercession is when we hope more of these programs will begin. Okay. Then we come back around October, let's say 10th or so, I think. And we go up until December 15th or 16th. Then we have Christmas break. The Christmas break is our longest break. It's 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That's good. Yeah, Christmas,
somebody-
New Year.
Maybe we'll be able to move or go places there.
Yes, and that's better weather in Palau than summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we have that. Then we come back about the middle of January and go until roughly the beginning or middle of March. In which case we have spring break, which is another
Yeah.
3-week break. Intercession. I shouldn't call them breaks, but intercession.
Intercessions.
And then the fourth quarter begins in, I think, early April and goes until the end of May, beginning of June, and where we have summer intercession. And then we begin again.
Wonderful.
And
Are you going to
you
print
have
it in the newspapers and share it
Yeah,
with
I've met with
radio
Yeah, I'd be
stations?
happy to do so.
You have issued a public elementary school districts. Are you going to follow that?
Yes. Yeah, thank you for
Can
asking
you-
that
can you
question.
explain that?
Yeah, that's going to be one. This is the bad news. We have some schools that are a school, Corora Elementary, which is completely over enrolled.
Oh.
It has over 600 students, and it's not designed for that. Their class sizes are too large. They range as high as 25, 27 students.
Most
Their
of the
campus-
parents are from Babaldao, but they have work here in Koror, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The issue is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take the people who live in Madalai and Ngarbaeth are being crowded. Their children are not getting the education they deserve.
Yeah.
Because all these other people are there.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've tried the district, but we know we can't kick people out of school, so that's not going to happen. If you're currently enrolled in whatever school you're enrolled, you can stay there.
I saw the listing. Can you tell us the listing of all this district in Koror?
Yeah, basically, Corora Elementary School, let's start in Irai. Obviously, Irai starts at the northern end of the bridge and goes throughout Irai.
Yes.
So if you live there, that's your school. Unless
good.
you've already got your student in another school where you can transport that student to the school. That's up to you. Or you can transfer and go to Irai. Secondly would be beginning at the south end of the bridge. If you live on the bridge, you don't go to school. Would be right about to the edge of Idip, maybe the
Usagahan.
yes, exactly. He knows it better than I do. That's J.B. Harris.
George B. Harris
George B. Harris,
Elementary.
uh-huh.
Okay.
So that's where their district is. Again,
Very good.
anybody within that district, that's their school. If you live in that district and you send your child to Munes, you may continue to do so, but you're going to have to transport them. That's the important element
Yeah.
here. Let me see. Corora Elementary School has Narbaeth and
Matalai.
Dalai,
Yes.
all the way to the edge of the, I'm going to mess this up, Amayong Center. Okay, Amayong Center.
oh, yeah,
Right there.
cultural.
North of that, up there. That's a boundary run. And then from there, all the way down to all of Malakal, And Munes, all the way out to the end of that island, goes to Munes.
Very good.
So, and what we're doing is we're going to have a bus at each school. So that'll be dedicated bus for their school. It won't leave the district. Unless I think a couple of them may,
nice.
just to drop off high school students.
So you have to drive
That's great.
your child to go elementary school if you stay in Munes.
Yes.
So why not
Now,
transfer
here's the
them
reasoning.
to Munes?
Here's the reasoning. We are running a chauffeur service with buses. The cost is astronomical in the amount of gas
Yes.
we use, in terms of wear and tear
Right.
on those, and the fact that it takes our bus drivers out of where we need them from time to
Yeah.
time. So what they'll be doing now, I know people are not going to like this, but I would say, why not? It's the best we can do.
Yeah.
We need to do this because it's in the best educational interest of the children who should be in Karor Elementary School.
And it's cost effective for taxpayers and the rest of
Minister,
Palau.
this is not new.
I know it's not new. It's
This
been
was
tried.
done way back.
It's
then.
like everything. None of these ideas are new. I went back and read all of the TASH reports and all of these. Most of these things have been recommended for 10 or 15 years, and they end up on the shelf.
You know what I also like about this district thing, Minister Jenkins? It will cut off this, sometimes parents move their kids because they don't like the teacher or they don't like the principal or whatever. It's going to be, hey, the kids need to adapt.
Yeah.
We all need to adapt cost-effective measures and reduce the fuel
But
cost.
this is all-
Reducing class sizes is the main reason we're doing it.
Yeah.
Research is clear. With elementary schools, small class sizes get better results.
Yes.
We see this in our achievement test results. The larger schools perform much lower than the small schools. It makes sense. I mean, it's common sense as well as educational knowledge. You're sitting in a class with 10 students, you have a pretty good chance of getting good interaction with a teacher. You're sitting in a class with 28 students,
Very
Not so
hard.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Do we still have we're running out of time. So,
Yeah, so,
you know, this is a big reform you've done to the school system. Where do you get all the funding to do this?
Good question.
Oh, that's a good question. I wish I could tell you. No, we have some very, very inventive people. We do have grant money, and with the grant money, we were able to shift funding around. For example, we have a U.S. Department of Education grant, and we found that we had about 27% of that grant dedicated to travel.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I cut that. And Director Ida
Smart move.
jumped on it. That's how we're paying for the program of the teachers getting their additional degrees, as well as paying for some of these
Online
things.
degrees.
The second way of paying for it is, in our budget, while we were cut 10%, just like everybody else, and we are totally broke right now because we haven't received our supplement, that we were given a line item for books and supplies that we could only use for books and supplies. Now, we interpreted that as meaning computer equipment as well. So that's where we got the rest of it. So we had some coming from federal. Our librarian has just come up with a brilliant idea that she has some COVID money that she wants to spend, but it has to be related to COVID. So we said, we'll get some tablet computers, so that'll enable people who can't come to the library to be able to access books in the library. So that's another way of doing it. We couldn't print the money, but we found
Innovative ideas.
found ways.
I have two
Innovative
small
things.
questions, if you don't mind. I know you started a wonderful breakfast program. I don't know if that's for high school or
Everybody.
everybody. So is that going to continue?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Thank
That-
you so
I
much.
didn't start it. I want to give full credit.
Okay.
Actually, it was Reklai
Oh,
who
okay.
first mentioned it to me, and he did so in a very, very private manner.
Oh,
But let me know that I
Reklai.
better do it. And then President Whips absolutely
Okay.
said,
Masaula
do it.
Reply,
So,
Ma President
yeah,
Whips.
they are the ones to it.
Thank
and,
you.
if you'll notice in our supplementary, and I want to give real kudos to Breen DeMay, our charge of it. They've performed miracles in getting it done.
Wow.
We lost our kitchen in Munes. It was condemned because of the roof is falling down.
Oh, yeah?
We're trying to get it replaced, and it's not in place yet. So they were able to adjust the cooks coming to Palau High School, cooking, they're transporting it to Munes. So that's how resilient people can be.
So here's my next question. If businesses were to donate to like help repair roofs, kitchens, will that be tax deductible with the new tax system?
I have no
Since
clue.
it's education.
Yeah, no, I would certainly hope so.
Yeah, with health and education, I would hope so also. And then my last question, Dr. Jenkins, is when you say language and arts, will you be promoting both languages, Palawan and English?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Palauan is required
Yes.
in all grades in public schools and in all schools,
Yeah.
private and public. The one thing which we're hoping to do with this is work with the Palauan Language Commission in our intercession programs. So when the Rubaks and Maasas are coming in to explain about the cultural heritage and things like that, that those will be language
Traditional
lessons
skills,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
okay,
much.
so what about the sports and bus?
Okay.
Yeah.
High school sports will continue as it's been going for the past 8 years. We're members of the Balao Independent Interscholastic Athletics
What are the
Association. Volleyball or cross country, volleyball, basketball, and track and field. For both
No
boys and
baseball?
girls.
No
No baseball yet.
Okay.
Okay.
You
And,
plan to put baseball in?
Well, we're
There's a law,
negotiating that with. Well, here's
With
one
the
thing
major
we have
league.
to be aware of. Most of our high schools are really too small to field baseball teams. Secondly, if you've never played baseball and you walk onto a field with a couple of Palauan guys who have played baseball, you're in danger.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Can
what we're-
we start it in elementary school?
That's exactly what we want to do. We've talked about it with the NOC and Dean, our education specialist. He also has an NCD grant to purchase some equipment with. We're going to try and start it off in our PE program with maybe at the lower level with T-ball.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
during the
yes.
intersessions, we can have tournaments and things
Yeah.
like that.
Wow.
So all of those things are possible.
Well, I'm glad
Everything
you-
is possible in the intersessions.
Yeah.
Bus system, or are we?
Bus system, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
This is not school bus system. This is the new Palau transport system.
Yes.
We have one bus it's over full. I'm on the wait list to get a bus. I can't get on the bus because the bus is full. And that's the one coming, that's the West Coast Express.
So with the buses, Minister, are you going to have student IDs where they show their ID that I'm a student and then get on the bus, or
Right.
are the bus drivers all know the faces
Well,
of
they
everyone?
don't. But right now, we are not anticipating anybody riding the school buses unless they're a student for the
Okay.
first 2 weeks. Because what we need to do is to get a count as to exactly how many students are on each bus. Then we can, we have a bus system set up now because of the districting. And we were hoping that would free up a bus or two, but it hasn't done so yet, but we're still working on it. So if we have buses that are, let's say, not full, then yes, we'll do a system like that.
Yeah.
If we have buses that are full, obviously, the bus that comes down from Ngirmang all the way down west, that bus is full. There's no way we can get on that.
There's so
The-
many buses parked all over Koror without.
With the businesses
function.
that have closed?
Yeah, that's well, we're meeting on that today. I'm meeting with Minister Matul, and we're going to try and discuss that because it's a shame.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We really need a bus to be the East Coast Express.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
so that would be great and we need a larger bus for the West Coast because it's full. I can't get on it. Many people can't get on it. We're on the wait list. It's
The
almost
fuel
like-
price now, going skyrocketing.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
so-
I mean, it's saving people $200-300 a month
Yes,
Yeah.
just on
yes.
fuel. So it's a great system. And again, it wasn't my idea. I got roped into it, but because we had the buses.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I never expected it to be as popular, and then until I started looking at the price of gas. And
We're
oh,
very happy that it's popular.
point.
Yeah.
so we're hoping to
Smart.
expand. I know Minister Matul has already been speaking to some funding sources to see what we
Yes.
can do. So it's a matter of, as the future goes on,
Yeah.
if the gas prices remain the way they are, I would see us having a much better public transportation system.
And uniforms are going to continue in this new school system that you're...
Yeah, there's no change in that.
Wonderful, we're
Kindergartners,
excited.
except for kindergartners can wear, they have a school uniform, But for PE, just that they wear a T-shirt and shorts. Because I was told the PE uniforms are costing like $40. Is that true? That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's got to stop. Okay, so we'll deal with that.
Minister tegid ako alastil.
Yeah.
Ngora maklo bullying ra school. Abebi ra issues ra youth.
Yeah.
Ngani counseling program ra school.
Yes. We, in fact,
Great question.
this past year, Director Ida and myself, mostly her, worked on our policy, our disciplinary policy. And the disciplinary policy is really okay, but what it needed to do was to include a reentry program for the students, the victim and the perpetrator.
Wow.
And so that's what we've added that to it, so that when something like this happens and it's dealt with and the disciplinary process has taken effect, if the student is allowed back into school, there are certain conditions that they will have to meet.
Yeah. And that
So
will...
it's a really good point. And again, it's something that if we, as we do I'm glad you raised that, in fact, because as we have go with the districting busing, we are going to be able to place a security person on all of the Karor buses, because we have a security person there.
Yeah, and
So-
Minister, will that apply also to social media or online bullying?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Good, very good. Thank you.
Cyberbullying is included in policy.
Thank you so much.
Let me give you the last concern or question. Remember, I asked you in one of the press conference about this self-harm or suicide.
Yes.
And I'm asking you, like, I think it's the number one crisis in the community today. It's overtaken the pandemic. And you told me that there was no program or organized form to handle this. And you suggest that if we can use the pandemic approach to solve this thing, this is very serious. What are you doing in the school system or the community to handle this?
One of the things which the schools have a very special role with children, as you know.
Yes.
We're with them longer, more of the day than most
Yes.
any other part.
Very true.
And unfortunately, for many years, we have emphasized academics. Go to college. That was pretty much where our schools were oriented. We have to adjust that, and we've made some superficial adjustments. And I want to praise the high school in having academies or majors. So for people who are interested in the vocations or business, there are now tracks for them to go. We're going to really boost that up. That's an important element for us. The other thing was, as I was trying to get at, the intercession programs are designed to enable us to try to tap all students' abilities in non-traditional ways.
Wow.
The obvious ways are, of course, sports, arts, which will get a large number, but there are more. You may have someone who likes to play chess. You may have
Yes.
someone who, whatever. We need to find out what their talents are. And maybe
Yeah.
someone is a rapper, so we have to deal with that.
Or a pianist.
A pianist, whatever they may
Violinist,
have.
yeah.
Well, that's our task. I don't believe that the workshop and setting up commissions is going to solve the problem.
Yes.
I've been in this education field for a long time, and I've been so fortunate that we've never had a suicide. I know that that's
Praise God.
not normal, but it's important for us to address if every child can feel valued.
Yes.
And you watch it when they're performing. You watch it when
Yes.
they're playing sports. You watch it when they get their good grades. They feel good
Yeah.
about themselves. That's an important element of life. We all
Yeah.
want to feel good about ourselves. But until such time as we can have schools set up to where we're trying to find those, and actively find ways, I don't want to use ways in helping them find their talent, be able to display their talent, and to be able to be told, you're good
Yeah.
at that.
As an educator
say-
in US and in Palau, how do we deal with this problem? Because it's this emotional, mental problem, and that it's hard to. So how can you detect it, or a kid who's having problems? So we have to find a ways to deal with it, because it didn't happen. There were more Palauans in Palau, about 20,000, I guess, when I was growing up, or more than that. And there was no suicide like this. Now we have 12,000.
National crisis now.
Part of the sociological aspect is the theory of anomy. In other words, I have no place in this society.
No
A
purpose.
feeling of no purpose. What is my place in the universe? And that's a very common feeling among adolescents. You probably had it. I know I had it. But and most people, you get through it because you've got some way of feeling good about yourself. Maybe you're the best student in a class. Maybe you've got this. You've got to find that. We've got to find that.
Ito ko bet sir el all-time ra pandemic ang yamlo I say.
Well, the additional stress that's put on everybody is hard. It's hard to quantify. And the difficulty with this is there's no common denominator.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
can't be. It's not rich, poor, but the common denominator is someone who's depressed, not feeling good about themselves. That's one thing we can feel pretty comfortable is a contributing factor.
Ang labay sa Eda Minister so kumang moringa rehabilitation center belaw. Kita bay ko kolitangya sura ang Ministry of Education. Moringa ko ngarinya program ray kay the language and arts sul kukmo. Ito all sa akla. Asense like maybe volunteers teachers to teach music or language and arts rehab center for this behavioral
It's going to take
people,
everybody doing
students
something.
and
Everybody, and everybody says, everybody knows it. It's like the social system. Everybody knows what the problem is.
Yeah. Can I
just can't
ask
find
you
a
a
solution.
question from your own as a half Palawan now and then been Palawan US?
Karuba,
How do you why is it only men? Start for the boys, like I think the last one was I knew was 12 years old or 13, up to like 40 some. That age bracket and only men. I question why.
La Dr. Wali was
I'm not a psychologist. I can only say what I kind of think.
That's your personal.
And I'm probably going to get run out of the island for this. I think the men's role has been depreciated
Yes.
so much.
We need to support the men
I
also.
mean, you look at the graduates. We joke about it.
Yeah.
All the valedictorians are female.
girls.
All of them. So we are losing our place in society.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you were growing up, when there was a custom, what did you do? You went fishing.
Yeah.
You brought in fish.
Do the
from
work,
the-
you know.
You had
Firewood.
something. You got
Yes.
firewood. You were valuable.
Yes.
Now what do? You walk around with your cell phone.
Correct.
And you're getting
No.
information that's too much, and we're getting too much information. Like we were talking the other day about all of the problems we face, the nuclear issue.
I
Back in the
see.
day, you didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Wasn't an issue.
No,
to us.
I think
I
it's
see.
the women's fault. They're taking over. They're taking over everything in
They've
Palawan.
already
taken
Public office, money, land, and everything. Title. I mean, men are just kind of helpless now.
Dr.
You just said the problem.
Minister.
That's the problem.
Minister.
Minister, I think we need to close this. Udesuall
Okay,
today.
so yeah.
Minister, Dr. Wali says the highest rate of attempts are girls, women. The highest rate of succeed are men.
Something we can do.
Malin ka kadil kontra women maral kira to try and help the whole society mo.
Well, there are other ways of. I mean, the self-harm,
I see.
cutting, and things like that.
Yes.
Now those are different issues. Those are big warning
Behavioral
signs.
issues, yes.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I mean, the discussion can go for a whole day or entire week, but let's ask this man here, the boss here, to give us another chance in the before the or during the first week of the school program,
Great.
so that you can continue
When
this.
everything
because-
goes wrong.
Yeah, it's very important, and thank you very much. So you have the last say.
Well, again, I want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank everybody for the opportunity which I've been given. This is like, I felt that this was like a gift that was given that I've prepared for 35 years. And I'm in a hurry to get it done. And I know sometimes people say, I need to slow down and talk to people and do a pilot and do it. We don't have time for that.
Yes.
Can't let the children continue to fail. And that's basically what we're doing. And every single thing which we're doing here, we have asked the question, is this in the children's best interest? And in everything we're doing, that answer is yes.
Yes.
So we're comfortable with that.
Okay.
We're so excited and we want to thank you and let you know that you and the entire Ministry of Education have the support of the Palau, people, especially media. So anytime you want to come back,
Okay.
let us
Yes.
know.
Thank you.
And then we in the print media also want to give you opportunity starting this week up to the school. You give us we can publish in on a regular
Calendar,
basis.
See the calendar
Yes.
And all that,
Yeah, right.
so that we can, and then this the radio station, the TV station can also, because this is important. I mean,
Yes.
Palawan's whole education is number one. I mean, it's so
I-
important.
It's not number one. That's the problem.
Oh, now I guess.
Your health
Everybody
is.
says it's number one,
Yeah,
but it's
before,
not.
but
But what we would like to do is we'd like to invite you as well. Come to our schools. Come to our sports event. Come to our shows. That's where you'll see
Yes,
things
yes,
that
yes.
if you don't leave there feeling great, I give up.
I see.
I walk out on cloud. It's just wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, madalo ay siya kumanom saul de dilan trimlom gete ketendi tiang amal klol tutelel tia tia kita gumesingi ngidem gutmok la skulet ma ulgoro rangal gam ma klol tutelel ngidem malemol mengaringi apol bekel sandel do to daigal program lagi akarus madala media bela ngirem gutmok lendi o mal masaul mo igel blalu go ngaruba mal masaul tia urere le lam buk masaul mergid mos edem gutmok tial belual gutmok lo tokor omsu maskul em gutmok la atang aklet mo dia kai gidel malara langarti ikal mondar gid albagla kamondaya angaringi na bekel belura bul adang way say mdi sukum mo toka to ngai en mosep edel gutmok
Why say?
magdi metiang ko mansu
Malmasaula, Dr. Jenkins,
yes,
Minister
thank you.
Jenkins.
Belawati kesedrar mauwod lara rupak